They said my jacked up Ford could do the chore, protecting that orphanage and your Miami store.
Shit never ends. Chainsaw, Leatherface, Jason, Spooky.
And that was another Led Zeppelin song. Welcome back to THOR, your home for contemporary Norse music, talk, and worship. Norse gods, they're the ones that you can see. We're celebrating Odin's funeral today here at the festival, and of course Thor's ascension to the throne as Allfather. As all of you know, Odin died fighting alongside his wife heroically, protecting the 9 realms. Alright, let's get back to the music. If you're interested in learning more about our faith, just visit... That's right, it's your boy, back on his nonsense. It's your boy. So, the big story this week, of course, is Odin's funeral, the death of a god. The Watcher came in person, which is kind of weird. He didn't have to, he could have just stayed wherever he was watching. We have Amazing Spider-Man #1 that came out this week. This is one everyone's been looking forward to, and it was super weird. Spider-Man and MJ are broken up again, and she seems to have kids, and there was like a giant explosion in the beginning. But I really like Peter Parker's voice. He was very funny in it, so we'll see what happens. I'm sure next issue we'll start with MJ explaining she was babysitting. And we got Carnage #2. It's the origin of a new Carnage, who's a nice Carnage. So that's great. And then we have Knights of X #1. This is the weird magical mutants doing magical stuff in Otherworld. They're hanging out in Roma, dealing with mutants being hated over there in Otherworld. And people get sent on a legendary quest. So we'll see what happens with that. In Miss Marvel, Beyond the Limit #5, she hangs out with Doctor Strange and has a new villain. Punisher #2 does what Punisher books do. There was a lot of punishing. Sabertooth #3 is a really interesting book because Sabertooth is trying to escape his mind prison as he's stuck in Krakoa. He's got thrown in there in the very beginning, which was some nonsense because we found out in the run of, it was X-Force or... Yeah, I think he was the head of X-Force. And he ended up going to a afterlife to retrieve the part of his personality or soul that had been missing that would allow him to have like empathy as a person. And he also adopted a tiger with Omega Red, and they were like a family, and I loved it. And then immediately afterwards they ignored all of that and they threw him in the pit. And it's a horrible injustice. I'm one of the only people who has been on Sabertooth's side since the beginning, and I'm happy to see that he seems to be getting his revenge. Hopefully he can find a way to do it in a positive way. It does not look like that's going to happen. And then we have Silk #4 with Old Lady Silk. And you have Silver Surfer Rebirth #4. What's cool about the Silver Surfer book is that they had the different styles of artists throughout the years. And I love Silver Surfer. You say like Ron Lem and... my personal favorite, Mike Allred's Silver Surfer, all hanging out together. But the theme this month, and really last month, is that none of these things happened in the public. All of these things happened in people's minds or in space or in private. So there's really, as far as the people in the Marvel Universe is concerned, there wasn't a whole lot going on. They lost their moon recently, so that's, a big deal. The big news is that Squirrel Girl now has a radio show where she reports from the Marvel Universe and an Infinity comic. If you don't read the Infinity comics, those are really good too. And specifically, Ryan North's Squirrel Girl is one of my favorite comic book runs ever. I absolutely love Squirrel Girl, and I... love it being written by Ryan North. I was hoping Ryan North would get Spider-Man. He did a really fun power pack too. But you can call into the Squirrel Girl radio show, so check that out and give it a call, and you can listen to it for free. Just go and check out Marvel's social media or search Squirrel Girl Podcast, and you'll be able to find it no problem. It's very funny. It had John Delancey just showed up to play the Vulture in episode 3, so that's great. It is a Squirrel Girl written by Ryan North fake radio show featuring Star Trek characters. So this is pretty strong evidence that we all live in a computer simulation, and the ones in charge of mine in particular have just gotten lazy, and they're like, I don't know, play the hits. But that's fine. Thank you for watching.